Going from Primals singing Ultima to Where the Hearth is a heck of a pivot. But hello and welcome in, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Is that Jorge or George Barbosa? Hello, Wordney. Hello, that one grape. Chronically Lindsay. Hello, everybody. I should probably go turn off Nightbot. We can start talking about that game for now. I have other things I need to do on those timers. For those of you who want to join on this fish train, I am currently on Halicarnassus on Dynamis, and I'm currently sitting under the Papist tree in Az's Law. We will be starting with 100-Eye Axolotl. Then we'll be moving to the Archbishop, Spearnose, Blood Red Bonytongue, and Cornelia for the basically first half of our journey. Journey? Train. Words are hard. I, a certified goober, forgot to write notes for half these fish, so I am partially doing that now. The Naked Flame, thank you for the follow. Hello, King Decador. Jorge Barbosa, got it. Of course, now I don't remember what I said, because I got distracted. So hopefully I got that right. But you are welcome to join. If you don't want to, you can just follow along and listen. That's fine. But I am just chilling out on the Halicarnassus. How is everyone? Today is what, Thursday? Yes. As much as I hate to say it, my days are kind of blending together a little bit. Just because I have been in so much prep mode for FanFest, despite only actually having one thing, and it's not even during FanFest. So my brain has just been kind of like... So... Chronically Lindsay, thank you for that subscription. My brain was trying to say something else about numbers and involving the tier, but that didn't work. But thank you for the subscription. It has been a decent week out here. Nice and cool. I've also been getting ready because I have... I'm under the Papist tree. Here, actually, let me just go and press that button. I'm hidden amongst the bushes. Actually, I could probably cheat post this and it would probably be really pretty. Let's find out. Do that. That, do that, do that. There we go. That's pretty. That'll do while I quickly get my notes, the last of my notes together. But we are not in a huge rush, but we are also in a huge rush. We'll be starting, or I'm going to be so... the way this fish train is going to work is you can follow along and do whatever you want to catch the fish, but if you have not yet caught this fish and you aren't sure how to, I will explain it to you live. So each of these fish, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 fish on this fish train over the next 4 hours, and I will walk you through how to catch each one of them individually. And what will then happen is I will take all of that footage, I will clip it up and edit it out, and will be turned into quick tip guides for my YouTube channel, so if you ever need to go back and reference it, you are able to. Assuming I don't have a guide for it already, like the Archbishop I already have a guide for, so like I don't need that one. But anything that I catch turns into a guide. So in some cases, you may hear me say a few things, like twice. That is mostly just for me to make sure I have an audio cue edit of what I need to say. The story range is through Shadowbringer's final zone. I think towards the end it's Shadowbringers. Yeah, because we have Opal Shrimp and Deephaunt right at the very end. But everything else is, with the exception of this one, yeah, everything else is, oh wait, no, hold on. A Realm Reborn, Stormblood, no. Heaven's Ward, Stormblood, A Realm Reborn, A Realm Reborn, A Realm Reborn, ARR, Shadowbringers, ARR, Shadowbringers. So, a lot of A Realm Reborn. Are you fish? I am not fish, as much as I would love to be fish. Oh wait, hold on. Hold on, let me get out of G-pose. I'm in G-pose. Hold on. Okay. Hello. Thank you for the Moras. I'll make sure that they get to Fruity Prime. But let's start getting started here. So, clean up my inventory a smidge. I haven't cleaned it up since the last one of these. Alright, so how much time do we have until 100 Eye? 9 minutes. That's enough time for me to quickly write up a note on Opal Shrimp. Which is not hard. Fun fact about Opal Shrimp, this was like one of the first big fish that I worked Discovery for. And of course it's going to be a Stormfish slap. Why did I even think about that? It was one of the first big fish that I discovered, or was working Discovery for, and I actually learned that it had a wider window than it was originally expected. It was also like the third catch. Thank you, Eventide, for the 5-stream streak. I wonder if there's notifications for those. Alrighty, so for those of you who are joining, again, we are on As Law. You can come and go as you please. You can also stay on your home world. I don't mind. Ooh, that's not supposed to be there. I gotta fix my HUD. I am trying to improve the production quality of these a little bit. I still haven't fixed my OBS yet. We'll go with that. Oh, congratulations on your Warden. But, alright. Alright, so for those of you who are going to be following along at home, or wherever you may be, we're going to be starting off. Actually, it would help me if I put hold on, something came up. That's fun. All right, so what would help? What would help is if I actually press the record button on my side. So that would be silly if I didn't. Okay. Alright, so 100-Eye Axolotl is the big fish of the Papistry here in Oz's Law, and it is a mooched fish off of Aether Eye. So what we're going to do is we are going to start by using Patience 2 and casting out with Purse-Web Spider, and we're going to be reeling in the weak bite, so it's 1 exclamation point. If you get an Aether Eye, you are going to use Spareful Hand. If you don't have Spareful Hand, you're just going to be building Angler's Art stacks, but by the time that you are going to be starting the 100-Eye Axolotl window, you are going to want to have at least 1 large-sized Aether Eye. So if you're on the free trial, you're basically just going to be using Patience 2 this entire time. So I will just keep catching these Aether Eyes until I have 3 stored with Spareful Hand, and I might pick up like 5 or so Angler's Art stacks. You aren't going to need a ton. You can pretty much handle this with just Patience 2, but if you want to be a little bit more conservative with your GP, picking up 5 Angler's Art stacks is fine. So I will bring in these Aether Eyes, and then I will just get myself to 5 Angler's Art stacks. And the 4th Aether Eye that I'm going to catch, I'm going to just hold with Mooch. This is like the common prep strategy that we follow for all, basically every Mooch fish. Is the goal now is to have 3 stored with swim bait, and at least 1 stored with Mooch, so that you have 4 Mooches prepped for when the window opens. Alright, so I'm basically at this point ready. I'm just going to wait for my GP to regen, and then once the window opens, I will mooch out, and that's what you'll be doing as well. And we have like 3 minutes until the window because it opens at 6-ish, I think. This guy keeps slipping on me. Yeah, 100-Eye Axolotl is a fish that I either hear people love because it's cute and adorable, or they hate it because it is slippery. A fun little fact, too, about 100-Eye Axolotl, and I can't easily demonstrate this on this character, but there are 2 axolotls in Az's Law, both here at the Papistry, but 100-Eye Axolotl is actually one of the only big fish that has a different icon than the smaller version that it is, well, basically the bigger version of. If you look at all the big fish, they are all basically the exact same look. They just have, you know, a green background compared to a gray background. And in the case of 100-Eye Axolotl, they actually changed Axolotl to reflect the fact that it looks like it has 100 eyes, which is basically just that it's spotted. Yeah, it is a nice icon, and it is relatively, I mean, it's relatively fine otherwise. Did I get myself sinking minnow? Yes, I did. Okay. Phew. That would have been embarrassing, because there are none available. on Dynamis right now. Okay, so under 2 minutes until the window opens. Just kind of get yourself to roughly this state of 5 Angler's Art stacks, 1 Aether Eye on Mooch, and then 3 in your pockets, basically. Oh man, I have too many tabs open right now. All right. So we have about 40 seconds until the window opens, where we'll be mooching out. So let me do the take for the video. Hey now, Jam. So as the window opens at 6 a.m. eorzea time, I'm going to mooch out at 6:01, and if I don't get a ferocious bite, which is at 3 exclamation point, if I do not get one of those, I will use rest and then just select the next to mooch. So I will mooch out, and I will wait for a bite. Again, I'm looking for a ferocious bite. If I get one, I will use hook. If I don't, I use rest, and I just select the next Aether Eye that I can. So, go ahead, use rest, Aether Eye, cast. That simple. And I will just repeat this for all the Aether Eyes that I have. When you run out of Aether Eyes, you are going to basically catch them like you did during prep. You'll use Patience 2, but instead of storing them, you'll cast out and immediately mooch them. I'll use Hook on the Ferocious Bites. 100-Eye Axolotl will get away, so please prepare yourself for that. And then I'll just keep mooching. If you have the Angler's Art stacks, you can use Makeshift Bait in place of Patience 2, but do note that if you are using Patience 2 and you get that Ferocious Bite, you need to use Precision Hook Set to actually reel in 100-Eye Axolotl more successfully. So I've ran out of mooches. Here I'm just going to use Makeshift Bait. This is why I prepared 5 Angler's Art stacks, and I'm just going to catch and mooch out those Aether Eyes as much as I can. Yes, Carby, I do have the tracker open. Teamcraft has been lovely. I don't think that'll be an issue, but if you want to get them, like, I would not turn them down in case other people need some. That's later in the train though, so. And this window also is open for like another 9 minutes, so please feel no pressure. If you don't get it immediately, you got plenty of time. Linnea. So, do the aether eyes need to be large? They don't need to be large, but they need to be large in order to use Mooch. If you get a average-sized one, you'll be able to Mooch it with Mooch 2 if you have Mooch 2 unlocked. If you don't have Mooch 2 unlocked, you should be using Patience so that you can activate Mooch more often. Yeah, I didn't actually notice that search feature until this morning, Kirby. And I have just instinctively had Control F ingrained into my brain, so now I need to break that. Yeah, I know it's pretty new. I just haven't, I haven't actually been looking at the fish tracker stuff for like the past, I don't know, weekish. Oh, it goes through expansion filters even. That's great. Also, a quick tip if you really want to optimize your Aether Eye gathering experience, you can, I think it's around like 12, 13 seconds. If you don't have a weak bite, you can just rest and bring it in. Something around that time. There's a bit of overlap, so it's like 15 seconds at most, but like anytime before that. Why, hello, Bolty. Welcome in. And again, for those of you who are just joining, we are on Halicarnassus. We're at the Pappets Tree in Asslaw, catching 100-eye Axolotl. You are welcome to join us. Oh, I knew what I had to do that I haven't done yet. Duh. Hello, Zin. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Zin. We have about 5 minutes left in this window. Yeah, I noticed Whale was up at the end of this train, and I'm kind of like, oh, I should have gone done Whale. But I'm not prepared for Whale on this guy, and I didn't want to get him together for it, so... Bum, 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 bum. No fish you can go for until you continue the MSQ. Which part of the MSQ? I see. See, this, so the last big fish train, I did, like, what, I think it was 9 or 10 fish, and I caught every single one of them on the train. I am now very much expecting there to be, like, no fish caught. Which, if that's the case, there might be another one of these next week. Unconditional if you are in Stormblood. Hold on, are you in Stormblood but like above Stormblood level Fisher? Okay, so you have surface slap then. That's okay. I was say if you got unconditional third try without surface slap, that's really good. If you got unconditional third try with surface slap, that's actually not good. My Fisher was level 100 before I left ARR. I will continue to say that Fisher should be one of the first classes that you level when an expansion drops to at least max, because then you can utilize Sneak to get around all of the enemies in the expansion. Because that's what I did for Dawn Trail, and didn't accidentally pull anything, move in between MSQ stories if I had to go through a pack of enemies, pop on Fisher, pop off Fisher, none the wiser. Hundred Eye is being very shy. And we have less than a minute, by the way. That was unfortunately my last cast, so we're not 100%ing this fish strain tonight. I had a couple bites, that's not too bad. I came from 11 where mob aggro avoidance was drilled into you. I've just gotten used to working to avoid mobs when I can, but Fisher helps. All right, so we a little bit slower pace tonight, but we don't need to go too quickly. We are going to be moving on now to the fringes in Stormblood. I'm going to be going to cast from Oreos. And then this is where my computer hates me because it hates foliage. Quiet. And we're going to be heading down to the Comet's Tail. Guess from more you. Yeah. Is it quicker to come from the... Oh, I wonder if it is quicker to come from Peering Stones instead of Castrum Orions. I don't know. Alright, this purple place is the Comet's Tail. So, alright, so let me get myself set up here. And use music that will not get me copyrighted on YouTube when I eventually upload it to YouTube. Hey, a haunted mask, I am doing well. Alright. Let me hit the buttons that I need to push. A little space here too, just so I can record this well and get everybody in. Alright, so the Archbishop is the big fish of the Comet's Tail. And it's a relatively straightforward fish as long as you are not fishing in, I believe it's clouds and fog weather. Because that is when another fish is up and it kind of ruins it, but it still works. It's fine. Anyways, to get started, you're going to be using Suspending Minnow, and you're just going to cast out, and you're going to catch the first bite that you get. If it is not clouds and if it is not fog, it is going to be a wonderful little snail, and we are going to be slapping that guy. So I will use hook to reel him in. So we'll take the Bone Melter, we will use Surface Slap, we will use Chum, and then we're just going to wait until the window opens at noon eorzea time. Now, if you are on the free trial, you obviously cannot be using Surface Slap. For this, you're just going to show up with Suspending Minnow, you are going to use Chum, and you're just going to wait until you get your Archbishop bite. You can't force the bite like we do with Surface Slap, but it still shouldn't be too difficult. If you really want to optimize, again, don't come during clouds or fog, because that's when another fish is up, and that just adds more fish to the pool. But until then, you can just use Chum this entire time. Someone is asking me on Fishcord, how many attempts does it take me to catch a fish for my videos? And the answer is, you don't want to know. Alright, so as the window opens at 12:01, I am just going to cast out. And assuming you have the weather correct and you are not casting in clouds or fog, I'm going to keep saying that, your bite here is going to be a ferocious bite, of which you will use hook to attempt to reel in. Now, the Archbishop can slip a little bit, so if it gets away, that's fine. Just use Chum, cast back out. But it is that simple to get the Archbishop. Now, a fun fact, too, about the Archbishop is if you desynth it, you actually have a chance to get a Cane of the Round with the particle effects on it. It's one of the very few fish that give a weapon, let alone a trial weapon with the crafted particle effects on it. Anyways, these are just fun to farm. We're going to be here for like 10 minutes, so they can sell for a decent amount, and the Cane of the Round can sell for an okay amount, so I would just work on selling them if you want. Helps if I press the button instead of grab my water. Starfall, thank you. That is that little GIF is of our chat protector, Philip the Lumpfish. What do you mean by crunchy footsteps? I thought about doing an outtakes clip, Carby, at one point, and like specifically for Cinder Surprise. But I started editing it. It didn't work. The only fish that's giving you significant trouble is Magic Bucket. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. We were talking about Magic Bucket last week. Magic Bucket is the rarest fish in the game by bite rate. It has like a 0.5% chance or something. So it takes a hot minute to catch. But it is otherwise unremarkable. Shooting Star is good. You want to go ocean fishing? Not sure what I'm going to do with all these Archbishops. They can go into aquariums, I believe. Yeah, tier 2 or higher. So you could always throw them into your aquarium. On one hand, it hurts that Magic Bucket is in the Mog Tomes right now, but also that wouldn't register in your fishing log. Yeah, I know, we had this conversation last week, because that was when I did a whole bunch of streaming for Magic Bucket specifically. I mean, it does kind of sting in a way, but it also, for me, I don't force people to fish, so if they want the Magic Bucket but don't want to fish, like, by all means buy the bucket. I'm not going to care. That's on them to do what they want, so... Last night I decided to catch one more fish before sleep and chose Magic Bucket, not realizing how rare it was. Yeah. Now, I'm actually wondering, can I just use Ambitious Lure and just completely skip the slap? I'm still going to recommend slap for this. Like, the guide for Archbishop hasn't changed in forever. But I'm just wondering if I could just use... How well does Ambitious Lure work? This is the one thing I haven't explored. Goal is to check every box, not specific fish. It's a good idea. I should probably also double check to make sure that I'm pretty certain. Yeah. Archbishop is, in fact, a powerful hookset fish. You have 6 minutes on this guy, by the way. And then our next fish is in Spearnose, and he's going to be up like 14 minutes after that. So we're going to be doing a little bit of extra prep for Spearnose just because it's a bit of an annoying straight catch fish. which is why I gave it a little bit of extra time. But that, and also usually the start of the train is a little bit slower because I want people to be able to get in and join if they want. Has it been? Oh, so has hold on. Good luck early on. Really? Oh, good luck early on misled you for the pain of some of these. Some really vacant windows today. Total no shows and long windows. Sometimes you have good days. Sometimes you don't. Has Magic Bucket been in the Mog Tomes before? Yes, it was in a Mog Tome back in 2019, I think. Is the number I was given, but I don't actually know how accurate that is. Can you explain why I burn 60 GP per cast on the lures when the fish doesn't require it? Because in this specific case, on suspending minnow, only 2 fish can bite. The Archbishop, which is a powerful hookset fish, and Bone Melter, which is a precision hookset fish. So if I'm not using Surface Slap, which I'm not right now, if I cast out and use Ambitious Lure up to 3 times, I am basically taking the statistical chance of a Bone Melter biting and adding it to the weight of the Archbishop. So I'm basically making it more likely for powerful hookset fish to bite when I'm using Ambitious Lure. If I'm using Modest Lure, then it's Precision Hookset Fish instead. So that's why I'm using 60 GP, because in this case now, instead of using 200, on average, I'm using a little less GP. Nope. No, you're thinking of hidden fish. So those do require lures. Fish like Harlequin Queen, Datniotes Aeroplanos, Moongripper, Copper Shark, Zogre Condor. Those guys all are hidden fish. They require that special message to appear. And they all have like a unique message. It's like intuition. For every other fish, it just increases the bite chance. And no, you don't. It's even the you sense you attract a large shod fish is not required. What that message does, what this message means, is that the next bite is 100% guaranteed to be a powerful hookset fish. It's basically a super surface slap, and all other precision hookset fish, doesn't matter how many there are in the hole, will have 0 chance to bite. So that message just basically guarantees that a powerful hookset fish is going to bite, not is required for it. So you can just go up to 3 stacks and you're fine. Alright, we have about 2 minutes left here of just kind of messing around. See, and I didn't even use lure there. The numbers on Teamcraft are pure bite rates, I believe. You can select a filter to say like which stack of lure you want to use, and then what's the chance of it biting with that lure. But it doesn't see the guarantee message, no. I don't know how the lure filter, technically works on on TC. I just know that you can filter for it. I usually don't use it, so I haven't looked into it too much. Ahoy, Mr. C. Welcome in. And again, we are on Halicarnassus. In about a minute, we're going to be starting to make our way over to the Goblet. Now, we do have a bit of a hike there, so I'm going to take a really quick break at the end of this, and then we'll go to the Goblet. I need to go refill my water bottle, because I did not do that at the start of stream today. Oh, they're about as accurate as Teamcraft can be. Teamcraft does have, like, will occasionally have, like, packet capture issues, so you'll get, like, the weird, like, Merlthor Goby that took 90 seconds to bite. That obviously is not correct, but yes, those numbers should be relatively accurate. Alright, we are all done. Alright, let me actually just get us to a part of... Yes, all of Teamcraft's numbers are crowdsourced. Now the question is, did I unlock residential travel? Nope. Okay, we gotta take the long way. Which would be... Is this the one that I want? No. No. Yes. Alright, for those of us, or for those of you who are going to the Goblet for Spearnose, let's just meet up in Ward... I don't know, let's find a place that has a bunch of houses that are open. Nope. Nope. No, let's check the private ones. Wait, hold on. I saw gummy bears somewhere. Where are you? Wait, no, hold on. We have to go to a... We have to go to this one. Alright, we're going to Ward 23. Bolty, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Congratulations to Terry Micro Squapes. Good name. Muzan and Boger. Welcome to your subs. Please enjoy your new emotes. Oh, actually, no, we're going to go right across this bridge. Please enjoy your new Mamora Mora emotes, which you can use wherever you want to torment your favorite streamer with the Mamora Mora. And Bolty, thank you for the follow. We're in Ward 23. I'm looking for a good spot to grab all the fish here, because you can't do it in all of them. Actually, let's go right down over there. Down on the ground. Everyone into the pool. There we go. Alright, we are at Ward 23. Everyone can spread out along this railing. And we have like 10 minutes. I'm going to quickly get up and go refill my water really quick. For everybody else, use Patience 2 and Caddisfly Larva to get started. Look at that, I caught 9 Archbishops. Anyways, I will be right back really quick, and then I will join you. So, I'm back. That took me a little bit longer than I wanted. Mainly because I got up, got my water bottle, started refilling my water, grabbed a cookie, started to eat the cookie as I'm starting to fill up my water bottle from like a little filter dispenser that we have, and promptly dropped cookie into Cat's water bowl, so I had to go clean the water bowl. And Corin, thank you for the 5 Tier 1 gifted subs. Congratulations to Ezra A. Jakes, Minty Pie, hi Minty, Death by Sporky, Monofall Times, and Infinity Spooks. Please enjoy your Mamora minions. This is a better view of everybody. Oh, cool, I can do exactly what I want here. So anyways, I had to go clean out the water bowl because I dropped a cookie into it. That is the second cookie that I have dropped this week. Start here in a second. Not the one that I dropped, no. I just grabbed another one. It wasn't the whole cookie, it was like a part of it, but it was a big part of it. And Bolty, thank you for that gift sub to Evan Tide. Alright, let's get started, then I'll tell my cookie story. Alright, so Spearnose is the big fish of the goblet, one of the handful of big fish available in housing wards. And also, it is a decent into a pair of sandals. Take that as you wish. Anyways, for prepping with this fish, I'm actually going to recommend that everyone get 10 Angler's Art Stacks. GP does help out a lot with this fish, especially because it is a little uncommon, so having some Angler's Art Stacks to use on GP helps a bunch. Yeah, so I was at my grocery store. I was picking up groceries this week, and I walked in, and this woman off to my right was like, "Would you like a cookie?" And in the past, that they would have this out by the bakery, and I would be like, "Is it free?" And they're like, "No, it costs like $2 for like a warm chocolate chip cookie," which is a really good deal for like a big warm chocolate cookie, but wasn't what I really want at the time because I shouldn't really eat chocolate too much. Anyways, I walk in and the woman's like, "Hey, do you want a cookie?" And I'm like, "Is it free?" And she goes, "Yeah, do you want a cookie?" And I'm like, "Yes, I would." And they had like oatmeal raisin, chocolate chip, like 3 different types of sugar cookies, a couple of cookies that I don't even know what they were, but they looked good. And so I grab a cookie, I grab my shopping cart, I'm walking through the produce section, I grab a couple of things, the tofu that I was grabbing, apples and stuff, and I'm at the big wall of produce, and I start to reach down. I'm holding the cookie in my left hand, and with my right hand I go to reach down to grab a head of lettuce, and as I reached down I turned my hand just a little bit too much, and about 90% of the cookie that wasn't in my hand broke off and fell right into like the water trough of the produce. I had gotten 2 bites off on this cookie, 2 small bites off on this cookie because I was having a bad day. I was going to savor this cookie. Fell right into the trough of like where all the water from the produce, like all the gross water was, and I was just like, okay, well, not having that cookie anymore. So I lost. It was a good cookie too, which was the really annoying part. Was it was a really good cookie. Yeah, I didn't need a produce marinated cookie. Yeah, so I lost my cookie that day. I was having one of those days where it's like it wasn't a bad day. You were just in a bad mood, and then I was like, oh, cookie, and that like started to make my day. And then it was like, nope, no cookie. No cookie at all. So I didn't get a cookie. All right, you have just a little over 3.5 minutes until the Spearnose window is open. So go ahead and grab the rest of your Angler's Art stacks. If you are, again, if you are ready with your Angler's Art stacks, you are going to be, excuse me, you are going to be looking for a slap on silverfish, brass loach, or fairy bass. But it's okay because right after that, I went right after I picked up the groceries. I went over to my parents' house, and my dad had baked a cake for Easter, which I did not get to partake in because I was at my wife's family for Easter. But they had some cake left over, so I could take a giant chunk of this bunny-shaped cake. Let me do a take here for the video. So as I am approaching 10 Angler's Art stacks, I am going to now turn to getting a surface slap fish, specifically for Spearnose, silverfish, brass loach, or fairy bass. All three are perfectly fine slap targets. So once you end up getting one of those, you will use surface slap, you will use chum, and then you will just wait for the window to open. Sorry, not fairy bass, dark bass. And you do have a little over a minute, so 2100 will be when the window opens. So, yeah, that's my cookie story for the week. The good news is the cookie that I did just have, they're like these small, like I want to say they're pecan. I don't know, they're like a gluten-free one that's actually really good. I did discover, per Mrs. Snack's suggestion, of putting peanut butter on it, and it tastes really good. Go get yourself some cookies. You all deserve a cookie. You know, tomorrow, go find yourself a cookie. You deserve it. If you're like, no, you don't deserve it, Fruity Snacks gives you permission to have a cookie. So once 2100 or 9 p.m. eorzea time passes, at 9:01 or 21:01, you will cast out. And you're going to just be waiting for a ferocious bite. Now you don't need to use Modestler on this. Most of the fishing hole is dominantly precision hook set fish, so Modestler isn't going to help a ton. I wouldn't necessarily put the GP into it, but basically you're just going to be using chum and cast. And if you get a weak, that 1 exclamation point, or a 2 exclamation strong bite, you'll use rest, chum, and just cast back out again. until you get a ferocious bite. Now, the reason that we put together those 10 Angler's art stacks is because you are going to be using chum so much, you are going to be using your GP a lot, and so feel free to use your Thalliac's Favor as soon as you can. A minor optimization note is I would try and burn 400 GP as quickly as possible. Use your High Cordial first, and then while your High Cordial's on cooldown, then use Thalliac's Favor. When you're... think of your High Cordial as like your big damage dealing OGCD in a raid, or like your big healing spell or your big raid-wide buff. You want to make sure that you are using that on cooldown as much as possible without capping your GP to max. So here I now have enough. Refuse. Okay, yeah, fine. Make some cookies. You do you. What type of cookies are you making? As a side note for everybody, if you are still using X and you are still trying to contact me, I just noticed that X doesn't tell me when anybody sends me a message. Even requests, like I don't even see requests at all. I have to like go and look, and I discovered about 5 or 6 messages from the past few months that I probably should have seen, but I was never told about. So if you were messaging me on X, and I didn't respond, sorry. But if you ever do need to get in contact with me directly, if you have like a question or anything, Blue Sky is way easier. The Fishcord is, I'm always there, or you can just email me. Alright, so we have 5 minutes left in our window. Spearnose is by and far the longest bite in this fishing hole, so if you are on chum and you are starting to get bites up into like the 10 plus seconds, you are more likely going to be seeing Spearnose, just because it means that that longer bite is more likely just to be Spearnose, because it is a longer bite. I might actually go to the store tomorrow and get some baked goods. Because Saturday morning it is trout season here in the great state of New Jersey, and that's opening up, and I plan to be out fishing at right as that opens because it's always fun to do. And this year I'll be fly fishing on opening day for the first time, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm planning to get up early, and so I'll probably get like a muffin or something, and that'll be my breakfast out on the river. It's gonna be like 40, maybe 50 degrees The water is going to be probably cool as heck. Welcome, little Papillon Gaming. They never call them baked bads. Why is that? Because there's never a bad baked good. I love baked goods. Cupcakes specifically, I love good cupcake. I love a good muffin. Bagels, love bagels. 2 minutes left. I haven't gone fishing IRL since I was a teen, but it was a lot of fun when I did. I do it a lot. I've been doing it a lot over the past, like, 4 years. Oh, see, you just have to have the right type of icing. Here we go. And once you get a ferocious bite, you can use hook to reel it in. It might slip, but if it doesn't, congratulations, you've just caught Spearnose. And you have about less than a minute left in this window. Let's see, I haven't gone fishing IRL since I was a teen, but I haven't gone fishing IRL since I was a teen. You're 38 now. Puff and Pop, thank you for that follow. There's a family thing. I started doing it during COVID. Because I just needed to get out of doors, and no one told me I couldn't. So I just started fishing. And Jad UK, thank you for that follow as well. Yeah, I started on like spinner rod fishing, and then a couple years ago took a fly fishing class, didn't stick, and then this past season I was like all in on fly fishing. And this year I might just exclusively be fly fishing. Even on like lakes and stuff, because they have flies for that specifically. I would love to go back up to, I was in Vermont in the fall, and I would love to go back up to Vermont during trout season, so I could actually try and catch some of like the giant trout in like the White River. All right. Next up, we are heading to more donuts if we want to keep up with the baked goods. It's true. I could have done worse. I could be a runner. I cannot run. I used to do cross country, but I just cannot run. All right, so we are heading to Blood Red Bonytongue at the Singing Shards. Now, this fishing hole is a bit weird to find because there are 2 different fishing holes in the whole Singing Shards area. So I have to remind myself where it is precisely. I think it's right here. Yeah, this will do. Alright, so you all can join off to the right of me a bit. Is this... Oh, it's Leech King! Hello, little A-rank friend. I think fishers can beat him up. But TRM, Leech King is a rank in my heart. Alright, let me get myself set up. And for those of you who are just joining us, we are on Halicarnassus. I am doing a Learn to Big Fish fish train, so if you have never big fished before, you can join us. Because I'm going to tell you how to catch every single fish, because I record every single fish that I catch and explain as I am doing it, and then chop it up and put it on my YouTube channel as a guide. So I need honeyworm for this, not glowworm. That's the next fish. And then remind myself of the notes. But you are absolutely welcome to join if you would like. Let me push record. Also, if anyone is asking questions in chat, I just realized that I have had my fishing filter on, which removes all chat, so I can't see it. And then I clear my chat, so I didn't see what you say. So if you're asking something, I apologize. I will try my best to not do that. So blood red bonytongue is the big fish of the singing shards. It is a mooched fish, and it is caught off of silverfish, which are a weak biting fish here. We're going to start by using honeyworm and patience 2, and we are just going to cast out, and we'll be using precision hook set to reel in any of those weak bites that we get before 15 seconds or so. So just like this. And if it is silverfish, we will use Spearnose Hand. And we will repeat that until we have 3 stored silverfish and 1 on mooch. Now, if you are on the free trial, you obviously cannot be using Spearnose Hand as of the time of recording. But what you can do is just, instead of building up Angler's Art stacks as you are catching silverfish, you can just build up Angler's Art stacks normally, and then around 5 Angler's Art stacks, hold on to one of those silverfish with just mooch, and that'll basically get you ready for the window. The last time we were here, Curia was the rank spawned here. You play on Halicarnassus too. Yeah, I set up an ult on Hallie here for a reason, and I can't remember. I mean, I know why it is, but I had other reasons as well. I'm just going to finish out this Patience 2 and just get myself to 5 Angler's Art stacks. You have plenty of time, by the way. This window doesn't open for like 7 minutes. You are... no need to rush. Now, one thing you can do is you can use fish eyes on blood red bonytongue. Basically, prep for that the same way. Make sure that the weather is correct. Make sure that the time is... or you don't need to worry about the time, but make sure that the weather is correct. But you can prep and store all of these mooches, then use fish eyes, and then just mooch them out normally, and that gives you chances at blood red bonytongue. It is a lot more GP intensive, and if you have a free trial, you can still do it, but you will have to manually catch the silverfish during the fish eyes, because fish eyes cancels all active mooching opportunities. So at this point, I'm just going to wait now until the window opens. I should probably also make sure I have enough space on my computer to finish this. Yeah, I got 370 gigs. ARR only have 1 A rank per map. Oh, okay. We had the salamander last time we were at Red Bonytongue. This is my first time seeing a Leech King. Very excited to whack him with my fishing rod at the end of it. I am not a hunter of monsters, that is. Well, not in this game. I do love Monster Hunter, but I don't do the hunt. I don't do the hunt marks in 14 all that much. Maybe I'll do like a train at the start of an expansion just to get myself a bunch of tomes or seals or something, but I really don't do the hunts all that much. I don't even think I've killed any of the S ranks in Dawn Trail. I hunt for other prey, and it's usually in a water body somewhere. Alright, a little under 5 minutes. This music's really loud for me. So I mentioned earlier that I was prepping all this bunch of stuff for FanFest. This morning I sent out almost 200 emails to folks who are going to be at the FanFest Aquarium meetup at the Aquarium of the Pacific in literally 2 weeks from now. It'll actually almost be exactly 2 weeks from now, because right now, in 2 weeks, the check-in will be closing. And got the Discord all set up for that. So that was that was a little nerve-wracking when I like copy and paste like over 100 emails into an email, and I'm like, please make sure you click BCC, not CC. BCC, not CC. I had to check it like 3 times. I thought I sent the wrong version of the email out because I had 2 versions. So if you are going to be at FanFest and you're going to be at the Aquarium meetup and you RSVP'd or at least told me that you were going to be there and gave me an email, you should see that email in your inbox right now. If you don't, please let me know on Blue Sky or Discord, and I will rectify that. And then I got the next Fruity Rambles recorded today. That it won't go out until next Wednesday. But it's all about legendary fish for Dawn Trail and kind of my quote-unquote predictions for where I think, or it's not really where I think they'll be, because we don't know that for sure. There is no pattern that we can apply, at least not realistically. But it's more of like here's where I think interesting legendary fish could be. And so I talked about that, and I literally went zone by zone, and I was like, I could probably knock this out in, I don't know, 35, 45 minutes based on the outline that I wrote. No, it took like an hour and 20 minutes to get through it all. Spoiler alert, there's a lot of places that there could be legendary fish in Dawn Trail. I had a lot of difficulty choosing some, specifically around like Shaolani, is kind of difficult to pick where that legendary fish could be, except Nickawerpy. I hope it's not in Nickawerpy, and if they do, I hope like I feel like it's gonna be squandered if it's in Nickawerpy, but that'll be out next Wednesday, so the 15th, I think. Yeah, the 15th, and then on the 22nd, the week of FanFest, I won't be here because I'll be next Wednesday. I will be in Anaheim, doing I don't know what, probably be at some Disney park. And the one after that will be what my kind of like wish list for 8.0. I thought it would be fun to do that before FanFest. I'm probably going to record it before the live letter even. So so that's going to be a wish list, but it's not going to be a feature list. It's not going to be like, I want this fish. It's going to be what I want to be able to do. It's going to be a little bit different than what you might typically see. All right. So Blood Red Bonytongue opens in about 20 minutes. Let me make sure that I am still pressing record. I am. So as the Blood Red Bonytongue window opens, you're going to mooch that held silverfish, and you're going to be looking for a ferocious bite. If you get a ferocious bite, attempt to reel it in. If you don't get a ferocious bite, just use rest and select your next swim bait. So that is a strong bite. I'm going to use rest. I'm going to use chum because I'm at max GP. Select my next silverfish and once again cast out. It is worth warning you that Blood Red Bonytongue is slippery. It will likely get away, so please just be aware of that going in. This longer bite is likely it. But whenever you do get a bite, you will use hook to attempt to reel it in. It didn't slip for me this time. If you are using Patience, or Patience 2, you will use Powerful Hook Set instead of hook to reel it in. Also makes a great aquarium fish. Sweet, I can add that to my list. Cool. I have like more of these, so I'm just gonna keep casting out. But yeah, okay, so yeah, so I'll have so like for the next 2 weeks, I'm basically just gonna try and get whatever guides I get out of this. I have a couple of other videos that I could throw together. I am working on a big fish guide, but I'm gonna be honest, I just haven't had energy to be able to devote to it because I have been getting ready for FanFest. I've had other just various life things to deal with. Been getting ready for the aquarium thing, all this other stuff, so I haven't been able to put a ton of time into finishing it, but my goal is to have it done before the, like, not before FanFest. If I can get it before FanFest, though, that would be great. Which, I mean, I could. I have everything recorded. I just have to record video stuff for it. But the goal for that is to have it in before the legends are at least done. So that for folks who want to do some, like, end of expansion big fishing, they'll have a guide for that. So, like, that's my deadline is you know, the end, before the end of the expansion. But hopefully well before that. I also have a How Lures Work, which is probably coming about 2 years late, but honestly, that's basically how long it took to figure out. And so I have that. I haven't recorded anything for that yet, but I do have a script put together that I need to do some more refinement on. A lot of it's just been coming down to energy, because I have, you know, job searching and getting ready for FanFest and all these other things that I'm now doing. It's been a little tough to fit in some of those more longer form, not ramble videos, but I'm doing my best, so bear with me on those. You have 6 minutes left in this window. Did I get... Grin salmon and Voldonia carp. I'm getting some of my notes together here because I did not finish those. The one question I said about lure is that I've been confused. How does it interact with bite times and the cast timer macro? Like, am I messing up timing macros by using lures, or would they still be reliable, e.g. if I know something bites between 16 and 18 seconds? So, think of the lures when it comes to timing, sort of like bulldozers, where if you use a lure, at the end of the quote-unquote like 5-second grace period that we call, because there's a 5-second period after you use a lure where nothing will bite. And so if you chain that, like if you do 3 stacks, that's 2.5 seconds plus 2.5 seconds plus 5 seconds, so 10 seconds or so. It ends up roughly being 11. 11, 12 seconds after you account for like latency and button pushing. But any fish that could have bitten during or before the use of that lure will bite immediately at the end of that 5-second grace period after using the lure. So say you have a fish that bites between 16 and 18 seconds, and you cast out and you immediately use 3 modest lure. We'll assume it's a modest lure fish. That takes about 12 to 14 seconds. Because that 16 to 18 second bite window isn't during that 14 second time frame, that fish will still bite at 16 to 18 seconds. You can still use macros. Like, you'll notice I don't have macros for these guys because I don't want to break my timer. There are instances when you can do that, but you don't have to. So that 16 to 18 second fish will still bite between 16 and 18 seconds, assuming it is the fish that is rolled into, because whenever you use a lure, it basically counts as a recast. So it's a new fish. But it can be any fish at all, and if it's a fish that could have already bitten, it will bite at the end of that 5-second cooldown. Now, if you do that same thing where you cast out and immediately use the lure up to 3 times, and you get and it rolls into a fish that would have bitten, say, at like 5 seconds, it will bite immediately at the end of that, immediately at the end of the cooldown. So I actually use that sometimes. I have a macro that beeps at me. It's just like sound effect 6 or something, or 5. Where it counts 5 seconds whenever I use Modest Lure or Ambitious Lure, and at the end of that 5 seconds, it goes boop. Just a little chime noise. It's one of the built-in macros, which I think I have on this character. And that will, yeah. So it just gives me a sound effect. So whenever I use it, at the end of that 5-second grace period, I hear that noise. That's when I know that if I have a bite, as soon as I hear that noise, it's some fish that was going to bite before the lure use. I know that was probably a lot. I hope that answers your question and then some. Oh, cool. Even rolled into that. By the way, you have about 90 seconds left. And give me 1 second. I need to look something up for somebody. but the window is about to end in a minute. Okay. Cool. Let me do that. Sweet. Come here, Leech King. Oh, no, wait, that's not enough damage. Never mind. I regret this decision. I'm sorry, Leech King. Stop spitting me with digestive fluid. Okay. We are now going to be heading to Fallgourd Float. And there's no huge rush for this one, because this fish is always up. I decided to slip in an always up fish here, because they are kind of fun. So we're going to head to Fallgourd Float, and we are specifically heading right up here to the lake. Make sure that you are not at Proud Creek. We are going to the lake. And let me grab my bait for this one as well. Nope. Wait, do I still need the honeyworm for this? I know I need you and glowworm, that was it. The honeyworm and the glowworm are so similar. Give myself a nice place here I can quickly record. Is this Lake Total? Oops, so I select bait. Nope, that's Proud Creek. Guess I do have to be up here. Okay. Not a problem. Alright, so we are going to be going for Cornelia. Let me do that again when I turn on my recording here. Right, so we are going to be going for Cornelia. Cornelia is the big fish of Lake Teotl in North Shroud, and it is always up, but it is an intuition fish, so you will have to have the intuition buff in order for it to bite. To go for Cornelia, start with Glowworm, and go ahead and cast out. And you can use Ambitious Lure for this part if you are level 100. If not, just wait for a strong bite. And once you get a strong bite, you are going to reel it in. And then which strong bite you get will determine what you do next. If you get a Boxing Pleco, you can go ahead and hit Identical Cast, and then cast back out and use Double Hook, and that will give you the intuition. If you get a Bonytongue, you can slap it, and then the next strong bite you get will be a Boxing Pleco, which you can use either double or triple hook on. If you want, you can just reel it in normally. That's up to you. But the goal is to just get intuition. And once you do, switch to Rainbow Spoon Lure. Do not surface slap. and then cast out, and once again, just wait, basically, until you get a bite. I'm going to be specifically recommending going for an a strong biting fish. So if you want, you can use ambitious lure to kind of help get you there. And at this point, you're only going to be reeling in strong bites, ideally going for a Bonytongue, or you're going to be reeling in ferocious bites because that will be Cornelia. So there's our strong bite. We'll reel that in. I'm going to use Surface Slap. And then I'm going to cast out and just use Ambitious Lure again. And with the boxing Pleco slapped, the only other fish that could bite that are that would respond to Ambitious Lure are Cornelia or the boxing Pleco. Now, boxing Pleco, the reason we don't slap it immediately is because it doesn't bite as much as boxing Pleco does on the Rainbow Spoon Lure. So instead of slapping the boxing Pleco, we just go for a swapped slap that we instead of slapping the one that we had just caught. Now when you get a ferocious bite, you can use hook to reel it in, and you will catch Cornelia. Yeah, that wasn't the best presentation because none of that went according to how it happened when I was practicing earlier. I was testing it, and it didn't. It was like, oh yeah, you're gonna get a boxing Pleco, then you slap it, then you do this, then you do that. That kind of didn't work out the way that I had hoped. So I might re-record that one, but. Pan RPG, thank you for the follow. So give me 1 second here. I have to check something. Really quick. Okay. Please allow me to rant through that again really quick, and then I will, that way I have a second option that I can use for the recording, for the guide. And hopefully this one will play a little nicer. But we will be here, though, for like another 20 minutes or so. Cornelia can sometimes elude you if you aren't using Ambitious Lure, just as a heads up. So careful with that. But we'll be leaving here. Actually, no, we'll leave here in about 15 minutes, and then we'll go to the Worm of Nim. So make sure you have enough GP to do that. But I'm going to quickly re-record this, so you're going to have to listen to that whole spiel again. But please, let me know. Just bear with me on this one. Okay, so Cornelia is the big fish of... Oh, but now I have the Fate Failed, and I have to wait for that to go away. That drives me nuts. I think I have that in a couple of my guides, where it'll be like, Fate Failed! Brr, and it just happens during the video. It's so distracting and annoying to me. Alright, let me do that one last time. Grab my notes here so I'm a little more together here. Okay, so Cornelia is the big fish of Lake Tehuatl in North Shroud, and it is an always up fish, but it requires an intuition of 5 boxing Plecos. So you can come and get it whenever you want, but you would start by using Glowworm and casting out. And if you are level 100, you can use Ambitious Lure. That'll help speed you along to getting a strong bite, which will either be a Boxing Pleco or a Bonytongue. And whichever one you get will determine what you do next. So I will use Hook to reel in the strong bite. And since it's a Boxing Pleco, I will use Identical Cast in this particular case. And then I will cast back out, and I will double hook the next set of Boxing Pleco that I get. Because this is a Realm Reborn fish, if you are, depending on your gathering level, you will potentially get more than 2 using double hook. You can get 3 or 4 even with Boxing Plecos with double hook. So I will use double hook to reel in those Boxing Plecos, and now that I have Intuition, I will not use Slap right away, because what we want to get is a Bonytongue. That is going to be the better slap on the Rainbow Spoon Lure that we're going to switch to actually catch Cornelia. Now, you can use Ambitious Lure when in your Intuition. And I'm going to go ahead and reel in. Basically, at this point, I'm going to be reeling in any strong bites or any ferocious bites that I get. I'm looking for that Boxing Pleco. Or, excuse me, that Bonytongue, of which I will then slap, use Chum, and now I am just going to be using Ambitious Lure, and I'm only going to be attempting to reel in ferocious bites. Once you get a ferocious bite, you will use Hook to attempt to reel it in. It can be very slippery, so just prepare yourself for that. But if it does slip, just cast back out and use Ambitious Lure. I don't think this take is any better. I might just take the footage and do an audio cover of it myself. And once again, I get a bite. I will use Hook, and it just keeps giving away. That part will end up just getting, I'll just time-lapse to the part that I actually get the catch. Is probably what I'll end up doing. Editing these is actually kind of fun, just to cut them down. Probably shouldn't be much on that, but that's fine. I think there was one guide I did. What was it? The level 90 Ruby Dragon guide took about, I think it was 4? Yeah. It was 4 different windows that I stitched together in order to make it all work. It was the first phase was prep, second one was getting cure, third was during the window for Ruby, mooching the cure, and then finally a catch. Because that's just how it all worked. Alright, so this long bite is definitely going to be Cornelia. And it just slips again. It's not that it was hard, it was just that I had better takes in other things. Like the catch one that I did wasn't as good. Like the previous stages weren't as good. I basically, for that one, because it was going to be, at the time I thought it was going to be a long-standing guide, I think I ended up replacing it within the year with the level 100 guide. I just basically picked the parts that ended up working. Man, that first one was really lucky now. So yeah, the Ruby Dragon Guide is stitched. Which other ones have I done that for? Basically, any guide where you see me do a full wipe transition, there is a chance that you're looking at two separate windows. The trick is to look at the local time. And use hook to reel it right on in, right there at the end of the intuition. In this particular case, it slipped on me like 4 or 5 times, so that should be something you should be expecting. Oh. Alright, so about 7 more minutes here at Cornelia, but if you haven't caught it yet, if you have caught it, we can also just move on to the next fish soon. But yeah. No, when I edit these videos out, especially for legendary fish or fish that might take a while to catch, you'll probably see it mostly in like 0.4, 0.5, and 0.55, 0.56 fish. You'll see me start kind of mixing and matching a bunch of takes. There's a couple of times too where I've caught the fish like first try, and it's a hard fish to get, so hey, that's great that I caught it first try, but I needed footage of the intermediary part to teach you that. And so in some cases, I think I did this with Moonlight Guppy, I'll catch the first bite. I'll catch it first bite, and then I will stop what I'm doing, reset to where I was, and then get basically footage of the intermediary bits. And then from there, I just rearrange it all. So if you look at the local time, that's always the dead giveaways. Like look up at the local time in the corner. In some cases, I think this happened for Moonlight Guppy. It was the order of operations was prep, then I caught it, then I did the like post prep footage. What you actually saw was prep, the actual like intermediary, and then the catch. So I had to rearrange those last 2 bits to do it in the right order. Anyways, I'm just gonna see if I can catch Cornelia one more time, and then we can move on. Cool. Never mind. Getting a lot of emails about the aquarium thing, because I sent out the email today. So there's just been a lot of like questions coming in, which is fine. We love those questions, and I'd rather people ask me them now. I'd also prefer it if you are going to be at the aquarium event, or I should say if you're not going to be at the aquarium event. I would prefer if you tell me sooner rather than later, because according to the aquarium, it's a whole lot easier for them to take tickets away from a reservation rather than put them on it. So the sooner you can tell me that you won't be there, the easier it is for me to actually get the tickets, easier to get the correct amount of tickets, so I'm not basically buying tickets for people who aren't going to show up. And since that is money that I eat, I would really appreciate it. I've had a couple of times where it would be like, I'll order like, say like 100 tickets and 95 people show up and I have to eat the cost of those 5 tickets. Which is fine, because technically if you RSVP'd, that is factored into the price of the event, because it also pays for like budget and a couple of other things that I have for the event specifically that you'll get. But it's also, what's the word I'm looking for? It's also just really nice that if you're not going to be there, please tell me. I'm not going to be angry. If anything, I will be perfectly fine that you told me right before, the event, or a little bit before the event, so that I can tell the aquarium how much to actually print out. Because the day of, on Thursday, I'm basically going to walk up to the will call at the Aquarium of the Pacific and say, "Hi, my name is so-and-so. I have a group number. Here's my order. Can you print me out this amount of tickets?" And they'll look at me really funny because I'm asking for 160 some odd tickets. And then they'll be like, "Yeah, sure." Alright, for real, this will be the last time we do Cornelia. And then we will move on to the Worm of Nim. This is a very eager biting fish, too. Excuse me, I have to drink of water here. It's getting warmer. We've had a bunch of cold days here, and tomorrow's gonna be a little cooler, but it's also like the temperature keeps swinging. It's so annoying. Well, I told this story on Monday because someone asked for it, but like when I was in Vegas, I walked up to the will call and I was like, "Can I have 120 tickets?" And the woman working the tell at that point just gave me a look of like, "What the fuck? What did you just say?" So I'll be interested to see what the what this one will be, but they seem to be a little bit more aware of the fact that we'll be there. The fun thing, and this is what's happened every time, is because all these aquariums have like reservation systems, the amount of people that I'm bringing in usually require multiple like hours of time. So for our group specifically, we fill up like the 10 and 11 a.m. time slots, or at least that's where the tickets are from, even though we're not showing up until 3:30. And they're fine with that. Like they're like, "Yeah, that's fine. I'll just make a note of that." All right, we are heading to Upper Lenosha for our next fish, which will be up in just under 9 minutes. And then we'll enter into the back half of this fish train. All right, we're heading over here to the Bronze Lake Shallows, so you can head over east. And basically spread out anywhere along this ruined pathway. This will be fine. Wait, can I stand up on that? Can I get up there? That'd be fun to fish off. No. Bummer. Maybe let my GP regen here really quick and then we'll get started. You can build Angler's Art Stacks for this one if you would like, but it is not necessary. I'm not really gonna recommend it. Hello, my legal God-given name is Mr. Snacks. First name Fruity. The name's Snacks. Fruity Snacks. 1,000 aquarium tickets, please. I mean, that's basically how it goes. I mean, I'm not asking for 1,000 aquarium tickets. I'm asking for 168-ish. I think the reservation's for 168, and depending on who shows up and who doesn't, and tells me that ahead of time, I basically just give them the new number. They told me it's really easy to do. Just call them or show up at the will call. I'll probably call them like a couple of days beforehand. But yeah, I mean that's basically how it goes. Is you just show up and say, "Hi, I'm ordering this many tickets. I told you about this a month ago." They did explicitly say though, for the size of group that I was estimating, which at the time was about 150 people, they were like, let us know a month in advance. So that's why I had the... I usually would have done it 3 weeks in advance, but I did it 4 weeks this time around. Because they were like, that's going to be a big group, give us heads up, call us specifically. I couldn't even go through the web portal because the web portal only capped out at 100. All right, let me get my bait set up, my bait situation here going. Let me press the play button. So, we are here at the Worm of Nim in Upper Lenosha. This is a straight catch big fish off of butterworms, so we're going to prep that by just getting a basic slap together. We are going to cast out and use Ambitious Lure up to 3 times. We're going to be looking specifically for a jade eel, which is a strong bite, and it is relatively common. So it should show up relatively quickly. Once you get a jade eel, you can use Surface Slap and Chum. If you are on the free trial, you obviously cannot be using Surface Slap at the time of recording. So for in this case, don't even worry about showing up early. Just show up right when the window comes up. You'll be using Chum the entire time. All right. 4 minutes until that window opens. Is this the one that's required for the Zodiac Relic? I don't know. If it is, I should have done a guide on this a while ago. It is tailor-made eel pie. Yeah, it is used for Master Culinarian, or it's learned from Master Culinarian 1. And it is used in that quest. Yeah, Zodiac. That's good to know. I'm going to make a note of that so I can note that in the guide. I didn't go this far on the ARR Zodiac weapons, so... Hold on, can you sell this fish? Does it sell for something? Yes, it does. Oh, it sells for like 1,000. It is not very expensive. Anyways, we are basically just going to be waiting until 1900. Maybe it's in the pie. We're buying a bunch of these back off the market board way back when. Well, they're really cheap now, so there is that, I guess. Alright, 2 minutes. We're gonna start at, like I said, 1900. And this fish should be relatively quick, so if you want to kind of do some fun shenanigans, you can. I'm gonna stay here for the window, and we'll have some fun with that. The next couple of fish, though, that we have are mooches, and then we go to the Tempest. So, spoiler alert. Then back to A Realm Reborn, and then we end at the Tempest. Or at Shadowbringers. Who's that? Chain Vapor, thank you for the follow. Also, if you are watching on YouTube, I can't actually see if you subscribe or like this video, because it doesn't tell me. But if you do, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It helps, I don't know, YouTube say something to everything else to say, hey, this is a stream worth watching. I don't even know where these streams show up. Like, they don't show up in my browser, like when I'm actually browsing around. No, you are welcome, Star. Well, actually, thank TRM, excuse me. Alright, we have about a minute until the window starts. It's a nice weather for fishing here. Reminds me of the first time I went fishing for trout. No, I know they're archived under live. I don't know where they are when they're live. That's the thing. Like, do they show up in searches? That's the one thing I don't know. Because the YouTube streams are always wildly different compared to Twitch. So, as the window opens at 1901, we are going to cast out, and we are going to use Ambitious Lure if you have it, up to 3 times or until you see the attraction message. I'm going to cast out, use Ambitious Lure up to 3 times. And at this point, if I get a Ferocious Bite, I will reel it in with Hook. If I don't, I would use Rest. So I got a Ferocious Bite, and I will reel it in, and this will be the Worm of Nim. Stop that recording. That's another one down. Oh, Chain, yes, Chain, I remember that name. Yes, I remember that, how we all just did rabbit heads for the photos, because I think we were doing it because of, oh gosh, what was his name? Not Dane. Was it Dane? It might have been Dane. I remember that, yeah. That was a wild, man, the old Diadem days. I never hope we have to deal with those rankings ever again, because those were painful. What did you say? I see them on my searches. Yeah, I see them sometime in the searches, but there's no, like, here's live, let's go look at the, like, broad. It's not like Twitch. Yeah, so they're under, I know they're under the live tab, and I know that they show up while I'm live, but it's always, like, weird to see. Yeah, Plushy, at this point you're gonna get at least 3, 4. 4, I guess. Because I already have an Archbishop one, so I don't need another one for that. Oh, whoops, I was not paying attention. I just totally auto drive on that. I get live notifs. Yeah, so here's the thing, like, Twitch does a little bit of engagement for you. Like, they put it in front of people. YouTube, for the live videos, really doesn't. A lot of social media stuff, especially videos now, require you to push people to them in order for you to actually, you know, start seeing stuff. So, like, to have all of you here, I'm going to guess that most of you came because, or at least are on Twitch. So for all of those of you who are on Twitch, you probably saw me go live, or you saw my post more likely on Blue Sky, and were like, oh, hey, Fruity's gonna go live, I'll go watch him. And that's how you got here. If you're watching on YouTube, you probably were almost exclusively coming here because of either the notification, but more likely probably social media. Yeah, so still friends, but Eventide got here through ways. The point being is, my understanding of how social media works nowadays for Twitch and YouTube is, unless you're like super big and are pulling in like hundreds of viewers at once, or like are on the front page, which I am not, you kind of have to do a lot of pushing people in your own way. Which is fine, because I find Blue Sky is actually relatively very engaging. It's like way more engaging than Twitter now, which makes total sense, because Twitter is... But, yeah. Alright, so we have 4 minutes on the Worm of Nim, and then we're going to head over to Bat of Nine Tails. We might leave a little early if y'all are, you know, good with that. We could leave a little early and give ourselves a little bit more time at Bat of Nine Tails, because we might actually need it. But I need to let my GP regen. I don't know how I got here. I don't know how I get anywhere. To be honest, same. Really same. That's a rare bite. Didn't expect to see a fairy bass. Let's see. I found the channel basically because YouTube threw a quiz at me one day, but I knew Fruity Snacks by name. Hey, those quizzes have been fun. A lot of people really like those quizzes. So, oh, that reminds me. I have to actually schedule the challenges. I'm at the end of my like 6 weeks of planning where I put everything in, and I need to go and actually do the next like few weeks of challenges. YouTube mysteriously pushed out the scheduled stream as what seemed like a community post, but it was just a scheduled time slot for the upcoming stream. Huh. Well, I know that for this one I scheduled it yesterday morning, so it's been up for like 24 hours. I think YouTube likes it when you do a scheduled stream because it gives people like awareness or something. Yeah, I'm starting to get a bunch of fairy bass. Is fairy bass timed? I actually do need to know this. I don't think it is. No, just unlucky. Anyways, I'm going to do a couple more casts, and then I think what we can do, because we only have 2 minutes left on Worm of Nim, why don't we just head to Bat of Nine Tails early, because that'll give us like 6 minutes of prep, rather than like 4.5, and that'll be really, really useful for everybody. All right, so let's head out a little early now. We're gonna go to Horizon, basically. Please pray, return to the Waking Sands. Chain, if you haven't done fishing since Diadem, you are in for a shock. Like a genuine shock at the skills that we have gotten. Fishing is, I don't want to say easier, but it's kind of easier. Oh, Nian, the question was, well, it wasn't really a question. It was more me saying that YouTube does a lot of, they don't do a lot of pushing unless you're like a really large stream. So you have to direct people to your own stream yourself, is what I was saying. And so the actual question, I think, was, where do live streams on YouTube actually end up while they're live, because they don't have a browse page like Twitch? Yeah, the new 100 skills are, dare I say, revolutionary. Oh, it's raining here too. That's fun. Anyways, we're going to go stand in this mucky little pond. Okay. I have to remind myself of my own notes. Oh, if you're a sub channel, okay, that makes sense. So if you're subbed on YouTube, I go to the top of the list. It's good to know. Crop my view here for you. We're gonna stare at this frog. Hello, frog. All right, let me press record here. Well, now that you have double hook, there is nothing else that's quest locked as of right now. So like you're good. Okay. Let me press play. Alright, so Bat of Nine Tails is the big fish of Palada's Palace, and it is a mooshed fish off of a silverfish. So we are going to start by using Patience 2, and we are going to cast out. And if you want, you can use Modestler if you are level 100. If not, you are just going to be reeling in basically any of those weak 1 exclamation point marks, or bites, excuse me. And we'll be using Precision Hook Set to reel them in. Now, if you get a grip killifish, that's obviously not what we need, but if you have it, you can use Surface Slap and cast back out and use Modest Lure again. And since I didn't say it, we'll be using Honeyworm for this bait. Right, once you get a silverfish, you will use Spareful Hand to store it, and you're just going to repeat catching silverfish until the actual window opens. I totally got the name wrong of this zone. It's Parada's Peace, not Parada's Palace. I might do another vamp over this later. That's on me for not checking. Yeah. This fish train, the schedule got swapped around. I actually had another schedule planned as of yesterday, and I didn't like it, so I had to kind of scramble and do a new one yesterday before I announced. And so I didn't prepare for this one as much as I should, and I apologize to all of you for that. I'm also tired as hell, which is my own damn fault, but I said I was going to do this, I was able to do it, so I'm doing it. Alright, and once you have at least 5 Angler's Art stacks, helps, but as long as you have 3 stored silverfish and at least 1 on Mooch, you are ready for when the window opens. Which the window will open in less than 1 minute. There's a new season of Taskmaster already starting. On a Thursday. So, when the window opens, we are going to mooch our first silverfish, and we are basically only going to be looking for ferocious bites. If you get anything else, you're going to use rest and then just select the next silverfish that you have and mooch that out. So as the window opens, I'm going to cast out the 1 stored mooch silverfish, and I'm going to wait and see what I get. And if it is a ferocious bite, I will reel it in. It's not. I'm going to use rest. Just select the next silverfish in line and cast back out. I use chum sometimes with these stored mooches if I am going to be close or at maximum GP. You typically don't want to be sitting on GP or at least max GP, because that's wasted GP every time it ticks over GP you could be using. So if you're at max GP, don't be afraid to throw a like a chum out if you need it, just to kind of keep your GP rolling. But as I will continue to mooch, if I run out of mooches, I will just go back and catch silverfish like I basically was before. So you can use patience too if you want, or you can use makeshift bait if you got at least 5 Angler's Art stacks, which you would have gotten close while using patience too during prep. Now I will just continue to catch and mooch silverfish at this point. I don't need to store them during the window. There's no point. I just will immediately mooch them out, and again, just looking for that ferocious bite. If your makeshift bait runs out, or if you find yourself using patience too for whatever reason, Bat o' Ninetails is a powerful hookset fish, so while under the effects of patience 2, or even just patience, make sure that you are using powerful hookset on those ferocious bites to have the best chance of reeling in Bat o' Ninetails. I'm just having a run at these. So here's the thing, though. I know that they don't do specific job quests anymore, but it never changed for Fisher because we still have our own job quests in, like, after Stormblood. So we still have them. It's just everyone else who doesn't. Like, technically, Fisher never lost our job quest. Yes, it just continues to reinforce my belief that Fisher is basically the limited job before limited jobs were a thing. Little tip also when you're going for mooched fish. If you are going to be constantly mooching and Mooch 2 is available for use and you're not using a mooch loop, use that Mooch 2. Don't just let it sit. Go ahead and use it just to kind of keep the GP rolling and to let that cooldown roll. It's just another way of expending GP when you need it. But now that I'm out of Angler's Art stacks, I'm just going to use Patience 2. Hey, there's a reason why free trial fishers can get Grandmaster Caster but can't go for ultimates. I'm just saying. I do vaguely remember Bata Ninetails being relatively shy. I'm going to be really interested in paying attention to what they decide to do with the level cap at FanFest. Mainly, I'm interested because there was some early rumblings that they're not going to raise it, which implies that there's going to be some other form of progression, either through like specializations or something. And I'd be really interested to know how that's going to affect crafters and gatherers. Like, I am genuinely excited for FanFest. Admittedly, it's like the first 3 hours of FanFest, because that's just a keynote. That's what I'm the most excited for. That and the ability to play Mahjong with my friends outside. And the aquarium meetup, of course. I think part of what I'm going to do, because I mentioned earlier, I'm going to do a video on like what I would like to see in 8.0, but it's not going to be like a feature list of like, I want big spearfish, I want a higher eye level gig. It's going to be more of like what I would like to be able to do as a fisher. Because on the offside chance, or outside chance, that Square Enix does see the video, that type of feedback is usually better for developers than not. Now, will I say like, hey, I would love to have like these specific things? Yes, but that won't be the driver of that video. It's going to be like, let's do something else. Which, what do I even have listed? Oh, I haven't, never mind, I haven't even written out that outline yet. I have it all in my head of what I would like to do, and I have a rough idea of what I would like to see. Alright, we got like another 15 minutes on Bata Ninetails, and this is one of those fish where you might need the entire time. They didn't give us anything for spearfishing in Dawn Trail, so I wouldn't be surprised if something with spearfishing changes again, or if like they do like a big spearfishing thing for 8.0. That's a catch. Congratulations on your Bata Ninetails. But no, I don't think I mentioned I don't know if I'll mention big spearfishing specifically, but it would be like I have a list of things that I would like. This is what I'd like to be able to do. But I'm not going to say here's how I want to do it. It's going to be like I want to be able to make more choices. It's abstract. All right, so this is a longer bite, and it is going to be a Bata Ninetails with our ferocious bite. You'll use hook to reel it in, and if you're using patience, you will use powerful hook set instead of hook. I'm also going to do it. I'm going to record something because I want to do something really funny. Stop moving around, frog. Parada's Peace. There. Now what I'm going to do is when I said Parada's Palace earlier, I'm just going to put like a parentheses and just do and Bata Ninetails is caught in Parada's Peace in Northern Thanalan or whatever. Yeah. No, I think so. As somebody who has worked with game developers before, I can tell you that if you want to get something done, or if you want to give really good actionable feedback, don't say I want to do, or don't necessarily say like I want to do this because this is bad. Say, here's what I was expecting. Here's why I was expecting it. And then if you have a chance, go, here's why, or here's what I would love to be able to see. You need to have that context of like why it is that you're giving that feedback and what specifically about it were you expecting but didn't actually get, because you need to know where that mismatch is. That if you can say like, oh, I was expecting this, and the developer goes, well, I meant you to do this, then now you have 2 points and they can figure out where that problem came up. So highly recommend that if you ever are giving feedback on a game or anything, think about it from that perspective. But I think my 8.0 video will be mostly like... Do I actually have notes on it? oh yeah, it's going to be like, here's what I would like to be able to do. And I talk about like, I want to be, it's going to be kind of weird too, because it'll be like, I want failure points, which goes against every modern game design thing for an MMO live service game. But it is something there. I think I also make a note about snagging. Because snagging, they either need to, I guess to follow my own advice here. With snagging, it says, adds extra hooks to your line, making it possible to land normally uncatchable fish and items. And cool. And it being intentionally vague is fine. Something that I've learned recently is a lot of games will do intentionally vague descriptions to encourage community engagement and community connection, which is the goal of Fisher, so it totally makes sense that it's vague. But the issue is, snagging works on, it's meant to be used on like corals, clams, mussels. Things that are typically attached to rocks, or don't necessarily have mouths. The issue is, it isn't consistently doing that. Because it was added in Heaven's Ward, for some reason, they never back added it to... they never back added it to A Realm Reborn when it got bumped down to a level 36 skill. Or even started as a level 36 skill. I don't remember specifically where it started. So, you have all of A Realm Reborn that has mussels, corals, clams, various forms of bivalves, barnacles, all that type of stuff. But none of them require snagging. There's even specific fish, and I talk about this with one, and I think Star, I think that's what you're probably referring back to. There's a fish in Dawn Trail that is a filter feeder. It usually doesn't require, like in real life, you aren't using bait to catch filter feeders. You end up using a technique literally called snagging, where you add a bunch of lines to your hook, you cast out where you think it is, and then you just reel it in and hope you catch onto something. It sounds kind of brutal, but it works. And we have these paddlefish in the game, and none of them require snagging. There's 4 paddlefish, and none of them require snagging. From a design perspective, it makes sense, but when you have Fisher as this skill that is, or this job that has a bit of that taste of reality in it, with the different fishing styles and baits and almost 1,700 plus fish based on real species of fish, it's a little weird and a little bit of a disjoint to have that. So, I would also just say that if I ever got hired to work on fishing at Square Enix, I wouldn't tell anybody, but there would be plenty of signs. All right, we got 6 minutes left on this guy, and then we're going to be jumping over to Western Lenosha. Sudden uptick in sunfish? Dude, I guess. Hello, sir. And or madam, as you are staring at me. Why, yes, I do have 2 ears on the top of my head coming out of a hat, mysteriously. Don't worry about it. Oh, whoops. how are we doing on time here? Is there anyone behind me, or is it just everyone over here? Let's ask the group. Nope, here's another bite. If you are listening and you're in game and you don't have Bata Ninetales yet, like, say something, because then we can stick around a little bit. I don't mind waiting another 6 minutes. That's fine. Oh, sorry. At this point, it's 4.5, so even better. Close this out. So. Kind of to talk shop a little bit back about YouTube stuff. I'm actually a little surprised that the Fish Eyes video took off as much as it did. It's doing better than my last ramble, which was on fish getting nerfed. And I thought that one was doing like super well for what it was. And this one's outpacing it, so I'm a little surprised by that. See, how does fishing actually work as a gameplay loop at level 100? Are you dependent as a free trialer? Are you as dependent on chugging high cordials? Oh yeah, no, we are absolutely chugging high cordials all the time. The only thing though that's different, at least for me, is I usually on my main have like a massive stock of high cordials. I've been slowly rebuilding it, but I think at my peak, which would have been early Endwalker, late Shadowbringers era. Are we getting them like almost back to back? I had probably 5,000 high cordials, and I've been living off those basically since then. And it's only now that I've dropped under about 2,000 that I started to panic, and I was like, oh wait, I need my cordials back again. Island Sanctuary is an infinite high cordial factory, yeah. I do ocean fishing for mine. It's really not... getting high cordials outside of a free trial isn't too difficult. You can do... I think you can do ocean fishing as a free trial, correct? Oh, we have 2 minutes left. I'm just going to wrap this up really quick. Okay. Yeah, so we aren't... Once you pass the free trial barrier, you probably aren't going to see yourself as strapped for GP, because after level... hold on one sec. After basically like level 50, the only other super high levels, super high GP skill you end up getting is triple hook. Identical cast maybe, but that paces really well, and then you have surface slap, which also paces well. But your GP just starts ballooning up. Like, one of the things I mentioned in that Fish Eyes video is that one of the reasons that Fisher is so powerful is because we have so much freaking GP to use and a ton of skills to be able to manage it with Thaliac's Favor and Makeshift Bait. So it just... I think on a free trial, you don't have access to the GP management tools as much, so you're going to probably see a little bit more of an uptick in using cordials, but in reality, you're not. After that, you don't need them as much. Like, my main runs at 1101 GP, so 1101 GP, most of the time if I eat food. And I barely feel like I need... I will still chug cordials, but it's usually on like super high intensity fish. Alright, why don't we head out early here? Because we're about to wrap up with Bat and Ninetails. Let's head to Western Lenosha. I believe that is, in fact, Aleport. That we are going to... yes. Yes? Yeah. Head to Aleport. And we're going to go catch ourselves a sunfish. Fair warning to those of you who don't want to be spoiled for non-free trial zones. After Helmsman's Hand here, so in about 20 minutes, we will be going to a Shadowbringers zone. And then we will be back in a Realm Reborn, and then we will be back in another Shadowbringers zone. So if that is a problem for you, this is your 20-minute warning. You know, for missing some of these windows, this is not too bad of a haul tonight. Let me give myself a space here for audio. No, you're fine. I just wanted to get... I like having a little bit of space so it doesn't sound like there's two fishers like right on top of each other fishing. It's just usually better for people who are listening. But you are welcome to be where you are now. I need to adjust my settings on that too. Where was I putting away that? Find a nice angle for everybody. Wait, hold on. Can I stand on the boat? Let me up. Yeah, we can do that. This'll do. Something like that, I guess, would work. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. Helmsman's Hand is the big fish of the Isles of Umbra North Shore in Western Lenosha. It is a mooched fish off of a ocean cloud, which is a jellyfish that is caught using pillbug. So, much like all mooched fish, we are going to start by using Patience 2 and casting out. And Ocean Cloud is a weak bite, and it bites very commonly on pillbug. The other bite you'll see is Merlthor Goby. If you catch it, you can slap it, and the next weak bite will basically just be Ocean Cloud. But you will reel it in. If you arrive early, you will use Spareful Hand to store it. If not, you will cast it back out at 9:01 when the window opens. And on the mooch, you are going to be looking for a ferocious bite, as almost all big fish are, and you'll be using powerful hook set to reel it in if you are under the effects of patience. Now, I didn't really want to recommend using prep for this because it is so easy to get Ocean Cloud that you can prep, but if you don't feel like you have the time to, or you just don't have time to prep at all, don't feel like you're going to be missing out on this fish because it is relatively easy to get the Ocean Clouds. If you are on the free trial, you are going to be following this guide as normal. You just won't be able to slap gobies if they bite. And basically throughout the whole window, you're just going to be maintaining patience 2. If you have enough for makeshift bait, use that instead. But you're going to be using patience 2 and makeshift bait to be reeling in those ocean clouds that you will then mooch, and then you will go for the Helmsman's Hand. Wrath Games! How you doing, Wrath? Welcome in, everybody. I'm sure Wrath already said this, and you probably already know, but my name is Fruity Snacks, and I fish in Final Fantasy XIV. I am the only guy who has been able to convince Wrath to do fishing. But welcome in, everybody. We are doing a Learn to Big Fish fish train on Halicarnassus. You are welcome to join if you want. We still got a few fish left. Don't give me that angry face, Wrath. You know I'm right. Eatberg, you have my absolute blessing on your next sculptor window. I hope that you get your Stethecanthus. But hello, everybody. Hi. Hi. Welcome to the fish. Welcome to the fish train. Hi, Wrath. Wrath, how are you? Were you doing solo today? A fish train is a train. It's like a hunt train, except instead of hunting things, we hunt the fish. Yes, Lysandre, you absolutely can have my blessing on Stethecanthus. Go do this. You're tired? You went for walkies today and your legs hurt? I went for walkies past couple of days, and my legs also do kind of hurt a little bit. Stethecanthus is no joke. Like, genuinely. I would, like, if you struggling on Stethecanthus is nothing to be worried about, because plenty of people do. It's fish nibbling at the other end of fish nibbling at it's just a whole bunch of eels. You're right, Wrath. I forgot you did get Stethecanthus on the bloody first try. Hey, I caught it too. But yeah, Mr. I'm done with fishing, you can never make me fish, flexing about fishing. Which I guess is the reason to not fish. Wrath, I want you to know that whenever I talked about you going fishing, like I was talking to DM about it, I want you to know that I'm very proud of you for how well you've done. You tackled that like a beast. You absolutely deserve to never have to fish again. But if you have to, you are so prepared for it. I am so thrilled. I was genuinely proud of how you handled that. Oh no, Wrath should never do another 24-hour fish train or fish stream, because that man, I could hear his soul dying after like the first 12 hours. Yes, Wrath now though has to become a mahjong master. I'm gonna reel this in just for the hell of it for the log completion. Oh hell yeah, that would be fun. DM Denmo me. I will teach. Well, I mean Denmo knows how to play, but I will teach everybody how to play mahjong. Does DM know how to play mahjong? I feel like that would be a thing DM has done. You can yell at Ron, yes. Or yell Ron if you want, but you just have to do it correctly. We'll have to ask DM later if DM knows Mahjong. That would actually be fun. I'd be down for that. Yes. So, from what I have heard, there are like two ways people know how to. There are two ways that people have learned Riichi Mahjong, which is the Mahjong that we have in Final Fantasy XIV. It's just called Domin Mahjong. There are two sets of rules, or two games that people come through when they learn Riichi. It's either Final Fantasy XIV or Yakuza. Those are like the two gateway games into Riichi Mahjong. Alright, this is going to probably be Helmsman's Hand. Which I'm just going to use Hook to reel in with. That's okay, this whole guide was shot because Wrath rated. I'll have to just go to redo this one on my own in the end. But there's Helmsman's Hand. I'm just gonna go for more because I love sunfish. No. I would rather you be here than not. So it's fine. Basically, this fish train that I do is a. Oh, why am I seeing messages from Wrath Games in Discord now with everybody? Wrath was not joking, apparently. No, so this whole fish train, what I do is I explain how to catch the fish that we are going for, and then I chop up the video and turn it into a quick tip guide. Yeah, hold on, Wrath. No. This is very specifically, I'm not going to let you, I'm not taking the blame for this one. Oh gee, I won a medium on Fairy, congratulations. Or is, oh, that's not recent, my bad. Warden is still worth something. For a while, it was the most expensive fish in the game. Also, thank you to everyone who has been following. There was a lot of you, so I can't read them all out at once. But thank you. Warden's also a really good gift fish. And the other thing, too, with fish is that they sell very slowly. Like, very, very slowly. Okay, which MMO do you play that has fishing akin to Final Fantasy XIV? Is it Black Desert Online? Please tell me. If it's old school RuneScape, yeah, I'm on board. Haven and Hearth. Oh, now I have to look that up. Haven and Hearth from 2004. This looks like an old MUD. And it's free to play. That's fun. Also, Mrs. Snacks is here. Everyone say hi to Mrs. Snacks. My ghost. It has two systems for it. One is just an auto thing. The second is for Final Fantasy XIV fishing with specific lines and hooks. Ooh, that sounds fun. Okay, I'm writing. Wrath, that has earned a post-it note to look into. This is gonna be another Helmsman's Hand. Damn it. No, it's not. Just a long sunfish. Wrath has been trying to get people to play that for like 3 years. Is it one of those like MMOs that has like maybe 6 people playing, but it's a die-hard group of 6 people? I love those MMOs. want everyone to know, Wrath is absolutely a chaotic gremlin, if that isn't already known. I'll talk to you more about it, but it's definitely a probably don't stream game. Yeah, okay, that's good to know. Hell yeah, get the Yan horn. Alright, we got 5 minutes left in this window, guys. Then we're going to be moving. This is your warning for Wrath. You guys are fine because this is a solo. Solo is past this point, but we are going to be going to Shadowbringer zones in the next 5 minutes. So for those of you who don't want to get spoiled, heads up. Is it like an MMO? Or not an... Oh, it is an MMO. Is it like PvP based? Oh, it says it right there. A dash of... Oh. A free-to-play MMORPG with crafting, building, landscaping, foraging, fishing, a dash of poetry. Oh, I got a wahoo. Wahoo! And open PvP combat. Oh, I can't wait for that. This looks like, style-wise, that looks like Dragonica, which is an old MMO from, like, 2008, I think. Go have some pasta. I had pasta for dinner. We're dinner samesies. But have fun. We'll talk about Haven and Hearth later. Wahoo! Sorry, wahoo. Also, before I forget, for those of you who are watching me beforehand, if you somehow do not know who Wrath Games is, you should go check him out. Wrath is currently playing through all of Final Fantasy XIV solo, or with people who are doing it solo. And it has been an incredibly interesting journey to watch unfold. Wrath is also an incredibly silly person and very fun. So please go and support him. Yeah, go watch his solo series. I don't know if I can have links. Does he have a playlist? Oh, that was a dumb question. Of course he has a playlist. Mr. Wrath Games YouTube. That's a Gobi. I don't want a Gobi. No, I would like Wrath Games, not Way of the Hunter 2. Where is his solo series? There it is. All 32 videos. It's going to play.
Behold the bright...
Shh! Shh! Quiet. Here, I can now post it. Anyways, if you haven't watched that, go back and watch that, because it is absolutely wild. Some of his side stuff is also fun. Wrath, don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it at all. What do you mean, hey? I am saying how great you are. You love that. That's for in the group chat saying that I had a great idea. I thought you were eating pasta. Well, now that you're here, though, now I have to ask, what type of pasta are you eating? The fuck? Wrath! Thank you for the 10 gift subs. And completely filling my chat. Oh no, times 2, TRM Shadow, Evil Light, Witchy Works, Apple Soda, Sneaking Mission, Eatberg, Natalie Today, Sarcastically Logical, and Cyricil. Congratulations on getting those 10 gift subs from Wrath Games. I was not paying attention. How much time do we have left on this one? Oh, we have 40 seconds left. I have been distracted by Wrath Games successfully. And thank you, Wrath, for the sub. You make a nice creamy chicken pasta with broccoli and spinach. That sounds good. That's very good. All right, this is your final warning. We are going to be moving on to post-free trial zone spoilers. So, you have like a minute before we get out of here and go and do that. This is your warning. There will be spoilers. Bye, Raph. Thank you for all those gift subs. Been popular tonight. Welcome, everybody. And we are in ads. Hold on. Okay, let me... All right. This is your final warning. I am about to teleport to a Shadowbringer zone. So run away. Alright, so we are going to be heading to the Norvrant Slope. I am saying this now because a lot of people get very confused as to where to go and to where it is. Because when you look at it, it's like the guide says it's like right here. And you go there and there's no water. It's underneath the major surface. The easiest way to find the way to get down to the Norvrant Slope is through these gates right here. And then just swing a left. It's a little bit hard to notice, especially because if you're looking that way, it's a weird design thing. But just swing a left, go down the hill. And you are right here. Actually, does this water count as a Norvrant Slope? It does! That's fun. But we're not going to fish here. We're going to fish over here. Alright, so we are fishing down here. I would not jump into this area because this will just launch you back up to the top. Alright, let me get my stuff out. So for those of you who are joining, I didn't actually get a chance to fully explain this. We are doing what I call a learning fish train. Folks, if you have never gone big fishing but would like to learn how to catch fish, I explained that to you on this fish train, and I've been doing that for the past few hours. So what I'm going to do is I am going to basically talk out how you go for a fish as I record it, and then I will take that recording, I will trim it down, it will become a guide for my YouTube channel, which you can find at youtube.com/c/fruitysnacks. It's in the link below. And then you'll be able to reference that in the future. Think of it like a highlight clip, except it's educational. So we have 5 minutes until Opal Shrimp comes up. Give me 1 second before I actually start that recording. I need to just verify something really quick. Yes, okay, cool. But if you have any questions about fishing in Final Fantasy XIV or fishing in real life, because I do that too, please just go ahead and feel free to ask it in chat. Oops, I am still recording because I got distracted, so we're going to try that again. Get rid of my pill bugs. There we go. And make sure I get the fishing hole name right, because I don't want to get that wrong again. So, the Opal Shrimp is the big fish of the Norvrant Slope. This is a straight catch fish, so we are going to be prepping by just catching the most common biting fish, and then we're going to be using surface slap to basically just remove that fish and then use chum and then just wait for the window open. There is no trick towards getting this, but we are going to be going specifically for stormfish, as most of the Tempest, if stormfish is active, it is the fish that you're going to want to slap. So once you catch it, you'll use surface slap, you will use chum, and then you're just going to wait for the window to open at about 1800 hours. See, it's that, just like that. But so Wrath Games chat, really quick, just because I have been busy the past couple of days and I haven't caught his streams. Is he through the Seed of Sacrifice yet? Is he through that fight yet? Because I'm trying to figure out how he's going to do that one as well. But I just need to know like a yes or a no. Are we working on it? Catboy Jason, thank you for that follow. If you are also watching on YouTube, I am sorry for the absolute chaos there for the past few minutes. Also, what was I talking about before Wrath joined? I have 2 minutes until Opal Shrimp starts, and then we will go ahead and get started going for it. I'll just kind of preamble this by saying Opal Shrimp is a relatively unexciting fish in the sense that you like the lures aren't going to be super useful. It has basically survived any of the nerfs that have come since Shadowbringers, but it's not all that difficult. Probably the FanFest stuff, yeah. Yeah, so FanFest is in a couple weeks. I will be there. I haven't announced this yet, but I'll announce it now. I do have fish trading cards that I made. I digitally painted, basically scenes of Aquamaton and Coral Manta. I have those cards printed out. They're right over here. In a little card deck. And so if you find me, you can get one of those. A friend of mine named Aro made me Fruity Snacks commander decks, or commander cards. So I have a small amount of those to hand out as well. How many do I have? 1, 3, 4. I have like 4 of those left. So if you play Magic and you commit to making a Fruity Snacks commander deck, you can get one of those cards. They're very cool. I wish I could show you, but I don't have a camera set up. So I'll have that. Plus, I'll have a Cinder Surprise sticker that Jazzy printed and cut out for me as well. So I'll have a bunch of like fun hodgepodge stuff here. I was hoping to get something custom made, but I genuinely just did not have time to be able to get that. So we just have little stickers, little fun guys. Okay, so as the Opal Shrimp window opens, you will cast out at 1801 or 601 if you are not in 24-hour time. And then you're just going to wait for a ferocious bite to occur. If you get a weak or a strong bite, you will use rest, chum, and then cast back out. The lures are not going to be all that useful here. If you want to use them, like, I'm not going to stop you, but really they don't provide much. Chum is going to be much more powerful to use than Modestler and Chum. Modestler because Opal Shrimp will bite and would be a precision hook set fish, but because we're not using patience, you'll just use hook to reel it in. That caught me off guard. I did not expect it to bite that quick. Remember we were talking earlier about how I would have to, like when I'm editing video guides, sometimes the guide is like 3 or 4 different windows from different times. This is one of those instances where I would probably, if I wasn't doing a stream, I probably would have just done it all like twice because that was way too quick. Are we about to get another bite? Yes, okay, fine, we'll take it back to back. Stop biting! You're not supposed to be... You're a 2% chance! Why am I getting 2% chances back to back? Wow, Wrath, thank you. I just caught a 2% chance fish, back to back. I am statistically significant. I'd prefer to have been statistically insignificant. I think I'm pretty much one of the few, like, people fishing in this game who actually doesn't want to get a bite first cast. Like, it genuinely is annoying if I'm recording a guide and I get a first cast because I can't teach you anything if there's nothing in between the prep and the end. Yeah, here it comes again. Excuse me. Oh, thank you for slipping. At least we have some variety. That's okay. The next fish will be a thing. But there's 2 minutes left in this window, and then we're going to be jumping back to South Shroud. Be a little... If you want to go into the next window, like, optimally... optimally? Just heads up on that. Do I even have Ethereal Reduction unlocked? I don't know if I do. Oh, I do. Sweet. I used to make so much money off this, off Age Flow. I think it still sells. Hold on, now I have to look. Does Age Flow Aether Sand still sell for something? Nope. 175 gil each. The Worm of Nim sold better and was easier to get. You got a minute left. And like I was saying earlier, basically, if you ever have to slap any fish in the Tempest, it is almost always Stormfish. There's one exception, and that's when you're specifically going for the Ondo Sai over here, where instead of going for a Stormfish slap, because I don't even think it exists, you go for the Bubble Angler specifically, because then you'll just use Modestler to get it, and then you basically guarantee yourself a bite. There it is again. I mean, I actually, now that I say that, Ondo Taker might not be a Stormfish slap. You might go for Caliban. I'll have to look into that one. But for the most part, like, if you just aren't sure, Stormfish is usually a safe bet on who you slap. All right, 14 seconds left. I'm not too worried about that. So we are going to now move to South Shroud, which is Camp Tranquil what I think we need? Yes, it is. All right, we're going to be heading to Camp Tranquil in South Shroud. We'll be going north to the Middle Hathaweva River. Pew. And we're going to this like little weird nubbly bit. It's like right here. And we get to hang out with the Fs. The Barks. Bark Fs. These guys, they're fun. I want to see, oh, can I post up like right next to one of these guys here? I just say post up. Alright, let me get my bait all set up here. Sinking minnow. This is a crafted bait. I think Wordney, if you're still here, I think Wordney was making some. You want all? Oh, now I see what you're saying. You want all the sharks. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. There was somebody in my comments was saying that they were collecting all the turtles. You know what? You're gonna be loud. I'm gonna move you over here. Yeah, that'll do. Time to fish recently? I understand that. I discovered the new minion that you catch in Endwalker. Did we get a new minion in Endwalker? No, we didn't get a minion in Endwalker. We got a new minion, a catchable minion in Dawntrail. Okay, Alan, I gotta get started on recording this here. All right, the sinker is the big fish of Middle Hathaweva River in South Shroud. It is another straight catch fish, so as with all straight catch fish, we are going to catch the most common bite, and we are going to use surface slap on it. In this particular case, we have a couple of options. We have the Veladina carp or the Ugarin salmon, both of which are strong bites. So we'll take whichever one comes first, and then we'll use surface slap, chum, and then just wait for the window to open. So that is not what I need. So I thought Sunray Ray was the new one. Right, so once I catch one of our slap targets, I will use surface slap and then chum, and then we will just wait until the window opens. Now, the sinker is a fish eyes viable fish, so if you want to just get started early, you can use fish eyes. Just make sure that the weather conditions are met. Yeah, no, Sunray Ray is good. Here's the tip with Sunray Ray. Versatile lure is fine. I think my guide, I specifically used the primary bait, but that was before we had testing done on it. Tioto came back with a bunch of testing on Sunray, and it was like, it's all fine, just use versatile lure. Right, so once the window opens at 21:30, about a minute after that, the Eorzea minute, we cast out. And at this point, there are really no other ferocious bites in the fishing hole, so we're just going to be waiting for a ferocious bite. If we get anything else like this strong bite, we use rest, we reel in, we use chum, and we just cast back out. And we repeat that for the entire window. We're in, what did I say? South Shroud, middle Hathaway River. I need to look at something, actually. Let me look at this fishing hole. I didn't look at the bite times. Now, Ambitious Lure is not going to help you too much. There's just way too many other powerful hook-set fish in the game in this fishing hole, so it's not going to do much for you. Okay. Sometimes when I look at slaps, like if there's multiple slap targets, if you want to get like super min-maxy, you look at the bite times, and if you say have like two fish that are basically the same bite rate, but one is maybe 5 seconds longer on average to bite, that's going to be the better slap target than the other fish. This is part of a method that we call the fail faster method, where you want to... Hold on, let me call him 1 sec. And once you get your ferocious bite, you can use hook to attempt to reel it in. It can slip away, but just keep going if it does. So the fail faster method of fishing is specifically for straight catch fish, so fish that don't require a mooch, and really only comes into play when there's more than one fish or all of the fish in a fishing hole outside of the big fish that have similar bite chances. In the case of a bunch of fish having the same bite chance, it's better to slap the fish that takes the longest to bite, because you want to know... Hold on. I will use hook to reel in the... You know, never mind. Screw you, sinker. Anyways, you slap the longest bite because you want your average time between casting and biting to be as little as possible. So if you end up having like a 30-second bite compared to another fish that is like a 15-second bite, but they each have an equal chance of biting, you slap the 30-second one because you want that 15-second one more often. It's like a really, really specific thing that doesn't show up a lot. I was working on an outline for a guide that talks about basic big fish tactics that probably won't come out until later. Once you get a bite, yeah, I'm just gonna wait until I reel it in successfully. Just say that and get the sound bit. I am working on a video, or at least I was working on an outline for a video, specifically on getting like tactics, like the three major tactics and then their variants. I don't know when that'll be out. That'll probably be kind of like the Fruity Rambles type video. That will be coming out probably in the next month or two at least. I'm going to try and have that for like post 755 stuff. But once all the legendary fish come out, we enter into the fruity shitpost era. And let me tell you, I have a lot of really dumb things planned. I am very excited for that era. So, some people have given me some really silly ideas, and we're gonna do some really silly things after all the legendary guides are done, and I get the last of the big fish guides I haven't done, like Ilianasoid Cichlid, Stardust Sleeper, and Heirloom Gold Grouper. I think were the 3 I don't have yet. Hoonity Pain, I don't think we'll ever actually get a guide, because you just need a guide on how to catch Hoonu Peacock Bass, and I already have that. Man, I don't remember the sinker being this slippery. That's what, 5th bite, 5th slip? Where's the statistically significant Wrath games? Because this would be his experience. Alright, so the window's now closed. We're going to be... Fair warning, we are going to be going back to Stormblood zones. So, heads up on that. For that we need our bait bugs, the last bait of the night. This is also the final fish of the fish train. Where are we going? Raktika, that's where it is. I almost went to the Tempest. Oh. Sorry, I was yawning. So we are going to Deephaunt, and Deephaunt's a interesting fish. There's two interesting things about Deephaunt. First, it is a very long biting fish. It has like an average bite time, I want to say, of like north of 40 seconds. Yeah, the maximum bite is 55 seconds, and that's the maximum recorded bite. The other thing, too, is that it actually has a relatively low uptime, which it kind of gets missed when people are talking about Deephaunt, but it doesn't actually come up as often as people think it does. I was actually surprised to see it when I was building the fish train for this, and it's part of the and it being up is the reason why we're ending on Deephaunt. But I'm going to let my GP regen before we get started on that. We have 4 minutes to the window, and we don't need... Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. We don't need a ton of time to prep. But... Oh yeah, so we're basically, when I was talking about that fail faster technique where you slap the like longer biting fish, that's what we're going to be doing here. In a very weird way. Bait bugs, wahoo! Oh, look at all these folks joining us. I'm going to stand a little bit out here because I'm going to record, and I haven't gotten my audio completely set up correctly, but this will be fine. I promise that after 7.5, I'm going to properly get my audio set up so that I can have all the noises running and my source recording actually works. Okay, let's get started with Deephaunt. So Deephaunt is a Shadowbringer's fish in Woven Oath in the Rocktika Greatwood, and it is caught off of bait bugs. It is a notoriously long biting fish. It's actually one of the longest biting fish in the game, so Chum is going to be really, really helpful here. At level 100, the strategy changes a little bit, and so what we'll do is we'll start by using Chum. We're going to cast out, and then we are going to use Modest Lure. What we're going to be doing is trying to catch a Dark Dweller. This is a very long bite of a fish, but not super common, but we still want to have that really long bite out of the way so that all that is left is the clawbow, which is a very quick bite. The reason we want to leave this quick bite is we want to know as soon as possible if the fish that is about to bite isn't Deephaunt. So I will catch the Dark Dweller. I'll hit no. You could also press yes if you want, but I will use Surface Slap, Chum, and now I'm going to wait for the window to open. But back to what I was saying, we want to know as soon as possible that the bite that we have, or the fish that's about to bite, isn't Deephaunt. And so by leaving a very quick biting fish in there, we actually can know much quicker that it isn't Deephaunt, and that allows us to get much more casts per window, and when you have more casts per window, you have more chances to actually catch that fish. Alright, the window opens in 30 seconds, so I'll do that there, and we'll be good to go. Alright, so once the window opens at 2 a.m., we cast out, and then we are going to immediately start using Modest Lure basically up to 3 times, or until we see that attraction message. Just like that. When you ever see that attraction message, stop using the lures. Don't touch them. But you're going to wait for a bite. If it isn't a ferocious bite, then you're just going to use Rest, Chum, and repeat those steps. It's only until you see that ferocious bite, the 3 exclamation points, that you are going to be using Hook to attempt to reel in Deephaunt. You are going to see a ton of clawbow too with this method. It just is how that works. Sorry, YouTube. Oh, yeah. Rest is an amazing skill. Absolutely think. And it's a skill that you didn't see exist because it's level 1, so it was never added to your bar unless you started Fisher after Dawntrail. So there's still a lot of people who don't know that it's there. I see a bite. We're going to spend a lot of time probably getting clawbow, because clawbow does end up being around like a 10% bite chance, and Modest Lure only makes that worse, but it is way better than having to wait 15-20 seconds every cast just to be able to know if you have a Deephaunt or not. But we have a little under 10 minutes, a little over 9 minutes left in this window. This is a nice long bite, so it'll likely be a Deephaunt. Deephaunt can slip, but whenever you do get that bite, you'll use hook to reel it in. And that's how you catch Deephaunt. Cool. Alright, so I'll finish out this window for sure. But, just as a heads up for those who are interested, no stream plans this weekend. But Monday we'll be back. I don't know what we'll be doing Monday, and I don't know what we'll be doing Thursday because it's the last streams before FanFest. And I won't be streaming the week of FanFest. And I will be streaming the week of 7.5, but I will only be doing fish. But next week, Monday and Thursday, I don't know what I'll be streaming. Next Saturday, though, this will be officially announced tomorrow. I meant to do it today. But this will be officially announced tomorrow. I am doing a charity stream on the afternoon of April 18th, which is a week from this Saturday, benefiting Cool Earth. We won't be playing Final Fantasy XIV. Instead, we'll be playing Cast and Chill. We will be playing Coral Island with Vimimi. And we'll also be getting a first look at a unreleased indie game about living on the ocean. So there will be some key donation incentives, so you'll be able to have a chance to win some of your own indie games if you want, all while helping raise money for a wonderful little charity that helps protect the rainforest down in South America. So be on the lookout for that. I'll be announcing that on Twitter and Blue Sky tomorrow. At worst, Saturday. Also have a guide out coming out tomorrow for... What guide do I have coming out tomorrow? I don't remember. Not that it's all that important. We'll be getting guides out for... Which fish am I doing tomorrow? Oh, Star Chaser. Caught in the Tempest at Purpur. And then for those of you who just like fishing in Final Fantasy XIV, I did put out another, like, talk video, like a bit of like a podcast-like thing, yesterday. Holy crap, is Denmo still streaming? He is. I'm surprised he's been going this long. You got 5 minutes left in the window. Oh yeah, Heirloom Gold Grouper is up at 4 a.m. tomorrow. I am not intending to be up for that, but if you need Heirloom Gold Grouper, 4 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, it'll be available, and then it's down for 27 days. Come on, give me my GP. Deephaunt does eat the hell out of your GP, though. What is going on? I think that's it. I think we'll have 3 streams next week. Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. Then no streams the week of FanFest. And then I'm going to be streaming like as much as I can of the Big Fish discovery come patch 7.5 on the 28th. We'll be doing... We'll do the new Big Fish. We will do ocean fishing. The patch 7.5 Big Fish will complete out the rest of the Dawn Trail fish. So we'll be getting like the last 8 of those. And then I need to look at the schedule again, but I think the legendary fish might be coming in 7.56. But they could also come in 7.55. It's hard to tell. But yeah, we'll be doing discovery streams like all week. The week of patch 7.5. It's mainly also because ocean fishing is coming out, probably, or especially if ocean fishing is coming out in 7.5. We'll do ocean fishing boats as well. I probably need to go wrap up my bait situation on my main character. Got 2.5 minutes. 6 a.m. This guy goes away. Actually, how long is he actually out for? That's a very good question. When is Deephaunt coming back? Bum, bum, bum. Because Deephaunt does go down for a while. It doesn't go down as long as, like, some of these other fish. Oh, yeah, 4 days. Yeah, 10 days is the longest it goes down for, like, the next 10 days. But... And then, like I was saying earlier in the stream, for non-guide content, I will have a long-form video out next week. Another Fruity Rambles on the legendary fish, though, and what we could expect in patch 7.55 or 7.56, whenever they come out. And then following that will be a like 8.0. What could we see with fishing in 8.0 type video? So it's gonna be there's gonna be a ton of stuff that I'll be putting out, and I'm trying to get a little prepared here ahead of 7.5 because I know 7.5 will keep me very busy. You have 49 seconds left in this window and the end of the fish train. How well did we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Out of 11 fish. 9 out of 11 fish is really good. Which ones did I not get? I didn't get Spearnose, and I didn't get 100-eye Axolotl. No, I did get Spearnose. Which one didn't I get? Who did I not get? Oh, the sinker. All right, get your last cast out. All right, the window is closed now. Gonna let this go. But, oh, yeah, and actually, now that I'm thinking about it, 7.5 is going to be booked, because we'll do 7.5 will be the Discovery streams and Ocean Fishing streams. 7.5.1 will be the Cosmic Exploration streams. 7.55 or 7.56 will be the Legendary Discovery streams. And then finally, when all that's over, I can do all the really dumb, silly, Mimi stuff that I wanted to do. But that's not important anymore because we are done with the fish train. And thus, this stream. So thank you everyone for coming. I hope you learned some more about big fish, or if anything, you at least got a little bit more confident in your big fishing. And if none of that, I hope you had fun. And if you didn't have fun, why were you here? Anyways, my name is Fruity Snacks. I do fishing content in Final Fantasy XIV, and I also play Mahjong now, apparently. So, if you like that type of content, you can follow me on all of these wonderful places. YouTube is my primary platform, as so is Twitch. Blue Sky, and Twitter, you can find me at FisherFruity. As I also just learned, if you are trying to DM me, do not DM me on Twitter, because Twitter does not tell me if you DM me. Please do so on like Blue Sky or Discord or something. But to wrap this off, my theme is made by Atelier Bubble Tea, my emotes are by Fox Snyder, and so is my profile picture. I would like to thank everybody who joined and followed and subscribed today. I cannot necessarily read you all out together, but Pinko Punning, Scarlet, Lysandra, Sandre, Aryados, Kokaiju, J. James, Elias Sky, and Ishula. I don't think I said welcome to you all, but thank you for those follows. We're going to send you over to Denmo, I guess, because he's doing something. Yeah, he's playing 1000X Resist, so we're going to send you to Denmo. You can go get weirded out with that game and have fun, but we're just gonna go right into Denmo. So I hope you all had a wonderful time. If you're on YouTube, thank you for watching.